Balarama Reddiar showed Bhagavan the final letter that he got from Sri Aurobindo. Bhagavan found it difficult to read Sri Aurobindo's handwriting and therefore requested Balarama Reddiar to read it. Sri Aurobindo had written, "You are determined to follow a path in which you can achieve only partial realization. We give you blessings. If you stayed on here and pursued your practice, both the mother and I could have helped you." When Balarama Reddiar came to the part about partial realization, Bhagavan interjected, "Partial realization? If it is partial, then it is not realization. If it is realization, then it is complete. There are no parts to it." This settled all his doubts. He gave up all thoughts of continuing as Sri Aurobindo's disciple and decided to follow Bhagavan's path of self-enquiry. He looked on Bhagavan's devotees as his family and Bhagavan as his guru, a guru who was available all the time to guide and bless him. It might seem to onlookers that Bhagavan was not interested in the affairs of others, but according to Balarama Reddiar, Bhagavan was keenly interested in sincere seekers, and this only the seeker would know. When I asked him if Bhagavan had helped him, he said, "Bhagavan has helped me personally and also in strengthening the depth of my practice." I asked him to share some of these experiences with me. He shared with me the struggles he experienced. When Balarama Reddiar was in Sri Aurobindo ashram, there was a young Hindu girl who was in love with him. The girl's parents came from the same state as Balarama Reddiar, and they too wanted him to marry their daughter. The parents met the mother at Sri Aurobindo ashram, and the mother told him, "Yes, marry this girl, she is for you. It will be wonderful." However, Balarama Reddiar's mind was more drawn to spiritual practice. He liked the girl, but he felt marriage would be a distraction. The girl and her parents pursued him to Ramanashramam. In a weak moment, Balarama Reddiar wondered whether he should marry her, but he wanted permission from Bhagavan first. That was the remarkable thing about Balarama Reddiar. Before making a decision, he consulted his master who was available 24 hours a day. He wrote a note to Bhagavan asking, "Should I marry this girl?" Bhagavan read the note, folded it, and then put it under his pillow. Whenever Bhagavan agreed with something, he would nod his head and return the note. Otherwise, he would keep quiet. In this case, he kept quiet. A few months after this incident, as Balarama Reddiar entered the hall, Bhagavan gave that day's newspaper to him. The newspaper mentioned the marriage of this girl to a politician. Balarama Reddiar's question was answered. Bhagavan loved his disciples like a mother, protected them like a father, guided them like a teacher, and moved with them like a friend. He constantly guided them and loved them. It was possible to ask him anything. One only had to surrender the doubting mind to him and accept him as master. Once Balarama Reddiar went to Almora in the Himalayas. After coming back to Arunachala, he informed Bhagavan, "In Almora it was so cool and pleasant. Here it is so hot." Bhagavan immediately said, "Real coolness lies within. If we have that coolness, it will be cool wherever we go." That was the beauty of Bhagavan's guidance. Bhagavan very rarely commented on the weather. This comment helped Balarama Reddiar to be unmindful of the weather. From then on, he too did not allow the weather to affect him. Balarama Reddiar would come to the ashram in the morning, afternoon and evening to be with Bhagavan and sit before him. The ashram became crowded in the afternoons. Balarama Reddiar stopped coming at that time. Noticing this, Bhagavan gestured to Balarama Reddiar when he came in one evening and said, "Professor G.V. Subbaramaiah asked me this afternoon whether Balarama Reddiar was here." Balarama Reddiar understood this to be an indication for him to come in the afternoons also. However, the next afternoon too, he did not go to the ashram. The next day, as usual, Balarama Reddiar was at the ashram at 3 in the morning. At that time, Bhagavan would be just getting up from his couch. Normally, Balarama Reddiar would fold the shawl that Bhagavan covered himself with at night and then keep it in its right place. But that morning, Bhagavan folded the shawl himself and put it under his pillow, refusing to give it to Balarama Reddiar. Balarama Reddiar later wrote, "Bhagavan taught me to attend the afternoon session too, because being in the presence of the Guru is absolutely important. Not even 1 minute should be wasted." From that day on, Balarama Reddiar was with Bhagavan, his Guru, all the time. Once when he was going around the hill, Balarama Reddiar suddenly felt like observing silence. Unknown to Bhagavan, he started observing silence the very next day. At the time, he was staying with S.S. Cohen in Palakothu. Then sometime later, Vishwanatha Swami got a letter from Swami Ramdas saying, "I am very happy Balarama Reddiar is observing silence. It will do him good. Congratulate him on my behalf." Vishwanatha Swami handed over the letter to Bhagavan. Balarama Reddiar was also present at the time. When Bhagavan read out the line, "It will do him good," he looked at Balarama Reddiar. Balarama Reddiar believed that this confirmed the fact he should continue to observe silence. Balarama Reddiar observed silence for 1 year. Towards the end of the year, Sadhu Vasavani, a saintly man, visited Ramanasramam. Not many people knew him, but Balarama Reddiar had met him in the Himalayas. Sadhu Vasavani sat next to Balarama Reddiar in the hall, but did not talk to him there. He thought he would talk to him outside, but Balarama Reddiar had to go somewhere urgently, and by the time he came back, Sadhu Vasavani had already left. Bhagavan asked, "Did you know that Sadhu Vasavani had come?" Balarama Reddiar nodded. Bhagavan then said, "You should have spoken to him. He is your friend." It dawned on Balarama Reddiar that the guiding hand of the master was instructing him to break his silence since it had served its purpose.